So it turns out that abortion bans are extremely unpopular with the majority of the United States of America voters. And Ron DeSantis voters are not exempt from these feelings. In fact, they have expressed some concern about Ron DeSantis' anti-abortion position in some newly obtained leaked audio. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the article here. MSNBC, leaked audio shows DeSantis supporters worried about abortion ban. According to a recording of a meeting with DeSantis donors, supporters expressed concern that the governor's position on abortion could hurt his presidential bid. Gee whiz. So we had the Roe v. Wade overturned last year in the summer by the Supreme Court. And we saw how that affected the 2022 midterms in that the candidates that had the most extreme positions on abortion, especially in the most purple states, were hurt by their position on abortion. Okay, look at a candidate like Dr. Oz, for instance, in Pennsylvania, who went against John Fetterman in a debate. And for all of John Fetterman's gaffes that he had and misspeak that happened, none of them were worse when Dr. Oz said that the issue of abortion should be decided between a woman, her doctor, and local elected officials. Okay, that was it for Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania for the Senate race. So I head into the article here. It says, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has a mountain to climb if he wants to become president. He won't just have to defeat the former President Trump to earn his party's nomination in an ultra-conservative GOP. After that, he'd need to pivot to the center with hopes of winning some independents or even liberal-leaning voters in a general election. According to a recording of a Miami meeting of donors that was obtained by Florida Politics, DeSantis backers expressed concerns that the governor's signing of a draconian 6-week abortion ban in Florida could hurt his election chances. My Republican friends who have daughters and wives are upset, one DeSantis supporter said. He added, "We need talking points." The reply from Team DeSantis revealed two things. They don't think the abortion issue will hurt them majorly, and they think DeSantis' age relative to President Joe Biden works in their favor. So I'll stop right here for a second. They don't think the abortion issue is going to hurt them majorly. Like, we're going to get into some numbers here in a bit, but where were these people for the last election? I mean, where were they? Like, it is hurting the Republican Party, very much so. And when faced with issues like reproductive rights, and when faced with issues of, if I vote for Biden, abortion will continue to be a legal thing in, he's going to fight for reproductive rights where he can and do what he can to make sure that women do have access to an abortion. When faced with making that decision versus a candidate who wants to take that right away, is the age thing, does it really overshadow that? I kind of don't think so. So it says the man who answered, identified by Florida Politics as pollster Ryan Tyson, was rather revealing when he claimed that DeSantis had given the best position a Republican could take in a Fox News interview last Thursday. As Florida Politics wrote in its coverage of that interview, DeSantis waffled on whether there would be a national ban on abortion. The exchange highlights how serious a problem abortion could be for DeSantis as a candidate. Ever since the Supreme Court overturned abortion last year, Republicans have faced fierce blowback from voters. Yeah, we kind of talked about this. The lead conversation doesn't offer much consolation to any DeSantis supporters who might be worried on this front. I totally understand how difficult that is when you're talking to a pro-choice donor. I get that, someone on Team DeSantis says. Tyson, the pollster, cited 80-year-old Biden's age while seeking to downplay worries about DeSantis and abortion. If you are a voter in 24, as we likely are in a historic recession, are you choosing between a young candidate, DeSantis, versus an octogenarian? And if you are voting on the issue of abortion as one of your top two issues for determining your vote for president, I would offer you that our data suggests that that person has a high correlation with typical Democrat voting behavior. So he's saying somebody who's concerned about abortion as a top issue that heading into the ballot box, well, they're likely Democrats already. and they're likely already liberal and already going to vote Democrat. I'm going to show you why that's not true here. Okay, so it says there's a lot to unpack here. The assumption that the U.S. will be facing a historic recession, which Republicans seem to be rooting for. There's the notion that voters will favor a younger candidate on certain issues. And then there's the extremely questionable determination that voters who prioritize abortion at the ballot box are mostly Democrats. Extremely questionable is an understatement. It's straight up false, and I'm about to show you why. So we got registered voters by gender in 2022 in the United States. And as you can see, female voters simply outnumber male voters by almost 2 whole percentage points in 2022. And this has been a trend that's been happening since 1984, that women outvote men, okay, in presidential elections consistently, okay? More with it, and they're more willing to vote on principle and be nuanced voters, okay, who don't just follow the flock. Do some women voters do that? I'm sure, but yeah, so just looking at across the United States flatly, okay, you got 2% of female voters, 2% more female voters than male. And that's significant in a country with, you know, over 350 million people. This 2% is quite a lot of voters, okay? And next, we'll head over here to the Kansas abortion amendment election results. So this was a constitutional amendment proposed that was essentially going to strip abortion rights away. And a yes would be to take abortion rights away, and no is to have abortion still be accessible. So we got Kansas. Actually, one second. I'm going to jump back over to this because I think this next slide I have here for you is going to illustrate why these numbers are so crazy. Okay, so we got Independent Voter Project saying that in Kansas there's a population of 2,913,000 people. Okay, 1,851,000 registered voters. And of those, 43% are Republicans, with 812,000 registered Republicans, and only 480,000 registered Democrats in the entire state of Kansas. Okay, 480,000 Democrats, 812,000 Republicans. Okay, and then you got 540,000 unaffiliated and 18,000 third party. So 480 Democrat, 812 Republican. And you go here to the no. Oh, would you look at that? 543,000 votes for no. So it's just math, okay? It's not really that crazy of political analysis that you got to get into here, okay? Or some degree you have to have in statistical analysis, okay? 480,000 registered Democrats, 543,000 no votes, okay? That means that there is Republicans who were voting no. Like, there's Republicans that were voting no against the ballot measure. And then over here you have Ron DeSantis' campaign saying, oh, well, anybody that's concerned about the issue of abortion, they must be liberal-leaning anyway. They must be already Democrats. It's like, they're absolutely tone deaf, okay? They absolutely live in this little bubble, and they don't like information that goes against their little constructed bubble. All right? So what's their answer? They go, well, you know, it just seems very dismissive to assume, oh, well, they're just Democrats. Like, women are Republicans too, okay? Women, like, there's women who are concerned about the government telling them what to do with a baby in their body that are Republicans as well. They're not just Democrats, or else this Kansas election would have gone significantly different just based on the sheer numbers of it, okay? So this is a big problem for DeSantis, and I'm not really sure he's going to be able to shore this one up, because he wants to talk about issues like gender ideology and LGBT stuff and fighting the woke mob, but that's all fine and everything, okay? That stirs up a certain amount of support. It gets his base going. Great, DeSantis. Hate on the LGBTQ community, okay? But like when it comes to winning an election, a national election, you have to have answers for problems like this. You have to have solutions. You have to have talking points to pivot to. DeSantis he's gone so far to the right, and he's existed in that space for so long now. There's no way for him to possibly go any further left on abortion without pissing off the 35% of Republicans who are against abortion, right? So it's like appeal to the minority and keep their support, or try to make an argument to a larger base of voters and lose the support of the minority, you know? So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. And this is a huge problem for not just DeSantis, but really any Republican that has a staunch position on abortion. All right, so that's all I got for you guys on this one. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace.